All right, I can't zoom out any more than this. And so you gotta look at my ugly face this close. Okay, quick shoot from the hip video. Here's a thought. I talked with a young lady named Caroline last night that my wife and I had over to our home. And I was just asking her kind of like, hey, like what are Westmont kids looking for? Like what are Westmont kids in need of? That was a question. Something that she mentioned was two things. The first one was Westmont kids are interested in getting outside of the Westmont bubble. That was one thing. Westmont kids are interested in getting outside of the Westmont bubble. Meaning, they're not looking for one more thing where all of their Westmont friends are there necessarily. I've heard that from a few different people. We're not really, we want to be invited into people's homes and be ministered to by people who are in the next stage of life or 3 stages ahead of us in life or something to that effect. That makes a lot of sense to me because it's like, yeah, I need people who are like, I've got one kid, I want to watch people that are honoring the Lord with their whole lives who will have 4 kids or who are in a better spot than I am career-wise or whatnot, just so I have something to look at, to not model my life after necessarily, but also, yeah, kind of model my life after, to see where I'm at and where I could go and where I should be headed in a way that honors the Lord. So that makes a lot of sense to me. They've got a ton of their peers, maybe not a ton, but they have some of their peers that are honoring the Lord. So it's easier to figure out, hey, exactly where I'm at. How do I honor the Lord? But also look into the future. How can I honor the Lord in the next stages of my life? That makes a ton of sense to me. A thought I had of how to solve this problem with Apostles Church is I want to have worship nights because I think worship nights are great and I would love to worship the Lord more frequently with my church body, and just I want to worship the Lord more is one thing I want to do. And I know that I love worship nights. Kara loves worship nights. I'm sure college kids love worship nights. Worship nights are great. If I look a little bit past that to a different idea that I've already bounced around, but we could actually just make it happen. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. If we just said, hey, because that was the other thing. I asked Caroline, hey, what night of the week would be a good night for apostles to do a worship night? And she was like, maybe Tuesday would be a good night because later in the week it's difficult because stuff starts to get due. Mondays are crazy. Wednesdays, I feel like everyone does stuff on Wednesdays. Tuesdays might be the right day where it's just like, hey, yeah, we're free, we're available. Tuesdays are a good day. The thought I had was, what if I got together with Keith and Kyler and myself and maybe one more person, and we started a rotation where, okay, I'm going to commit to every Tuesday I personally will get out of my house and I will go to the home group, the college home group. So we've got a few leaders. We've got me and Keith and Kyler and the 3 respective wives that are associated with the 3 of us. And there's other people who want to be involved too. So maybe we let other people be involved too. But we start it as, hey, this is kind of a home group for the Westmont students at our church. And any Westmont students that are interested are welcome to come and join. And at the very least, even if they don't come, we've still got us 4 people that are going to actually do it. what if we started a home group separate from the one that I'm already in, because I like the one I'm already in, and that's where Caro and I get to be poured into. But we start a separate group where some of the others of us start pouring into the Westmont kids, and that is kind of the goal of it. It's a small group, it's a Westmont home group for Westmont kids, and honestly for any college kids, but it's, hey, we want to honor the Lord and seek after the Lord, and we're just going to have a home group the way that the church does the rest of the home groups, but it's specifically for college age kids. That's a good way to get a launching point started so that we could eventually turn it into a real college group, or leave it the way that it would start out and just have a small group that way. It'd be a good way, it'd be low stakes, low pressure. It's once a week. There is a set time that it starts and that it ends, and you can say, hey, we got to be out of my house by this time because kids got to go to bed, or because, hey, that's just the way that we're going to do it. If we want to go do other stuff after that, that's great too, but the party has to transfer from my house to somewhere else at 9:30 or at 9 o'clock or whatever it is. And we'll just be good about it, because it's like, hey, we're going to set up good boundaries. I would be stoked to be a part of that. I would be stoked to lead that partially. I would be stoked with that, to be a part of that. It's a once a week type of thing. In my mind, it's easy. Like, it's really not that tricky. It's not that difficult. I love the Bible and I love the Lord, and we can get stuff to work out that way. It'd be cool to get together with Keith and Kyler and maybe some of the other people who are interested in college ministry-ish and make that happen. And it's like, hey, you only have to do it once a month. You only have to commit yourself to 12 times a year to actually have people in your home. And it wouldn't be that big a deal. That's a thought. All right. That's the end.